Man, those Democrats are at it again, man. They have got a history. The Democrats have a history, ladies and gentlemen, of kind of kicking themselves in the butt. Just like, they do things that ultimately, in my opinion, come back to bite them. Now, not in every situation. Sometimes the Democrats get away with things that the average person would not get away with. Let's just say that. A la Hillary Clinton smashing the phones and destroying public records, which is a crime that should land anyone in jail, would land anyone in jail, would land anyone in prison, except, of course, for Hillary Clinton. Yeah. Oh, boy. But now, the question that you're all asking, of course, is, Kendall, what are you talking about? What have the Democrats done? Well, if you don't know the Democrat Party, let me explain this. The Democrat Party of the last, I would say, 10 years or so, 8 to 10 years, has a significant history of pushing away moderates. The Democrat Party of the last 10 years, of the last decade, has not even been trying to win the support of moderates. They have supported the far left. They have continuously pushed their policies more far left. And they have basically told moderates, get on board or else. That has basically been the Democrat platform towards moderates over the last decade. They have not tried to reach these people. In fact, they have pushed these people away right into the arms of the Republican Party. Famously, I believe that there was I could be wrong on the exact number, but I know that there was a large number. I believe it was around 7 million people, 7 million voters who voted for Obama in 2008, voted for him again in 2012, but then in 2016, they voted for Donald Trump. They switched over and voted for Trump. They never got that populist candidate that they wanted in Barack Obama. They never really got the policies that they wanted from Barack Obama, and they knew dang well they weren't going to get them from Hillary Clinton, from the warmonger that is Hillary Clinton, who wants to just blow up kids in the Middle East. Let's be honest. That's all George Bush, Barack Obama were. And that's all Hillary Clinton would have been. It's just, we're going to go over there. We're going to blow up kids. We're going to send more money overseas. We're not going to invest in America. That's all it would have been. So 7 million people, 7 million moderates said, I'm switching over. I'm going to go vote for Donald Trump because I'm sick of this. And so the left has repeatedly done this. They've repeatedly said, we're going to push away the moderates, or we're going to say, they're not, let me rephrase that. They're not purposely trying to push away moderates. But the way that they're trying to reach them is by basically saying, if you don't vote for us, your life is over, And if you don't vote for us, and if you say that you're supporting another candidate, then we're just going to attack you and berate you and treat you like street trash. And so what that does is that pushes these moderate voters away right into the arms of the Republican Party and Donald Trump. Well, they've done it again, ladies and gentlemen. From the post-millennial, RFK Jr.'s running mate says Dems sabotaged the campaign from inside and out, might quit the race to endorse Trump. Sorry, guys, I just got to check that real quick. Let's get into the news, guys. RFK Jr.'s running mate, Nicole Shanahan, said that not only did the Democrat Party sabotage their campaign from both the inside and out, but that the pair may quit the presidential race to support President Donald Trump for a second term in office. There you have it. It's this simple, ladies and gentlemen. Think about how insane this is. You could have had RFK Jr. versus Donald Trump. Okay, I would argue that these are two populist candidates, and let's be honest. Let's be honest. RFK Jr. was extremely popular whenever he joined the race. He was extremely popular. He was getting a lot of play in the polls. You know, people liked the guy. But then, of course, you know, the Democrats did the old Bernie Sanders treatment. Like, no, we can't have a populist candidate in the Democrat Party. We can't have an anti-establishment candidate in the Democrat Party because we won't be able to control them like our little puppet slaves. And we have to be able to control our puppets. So they gave him the Bernie Sanders treatment. They kicked him off the ballots. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and read this article. It gives us all the details on what the Democrats did to RFK Jr. And now they're stuck with Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump. They could have had RFK, man. RFK. I'm sorry. If RFK was given a fair shake, was given a fair chance in that presidential campaign, in the Democrat Party, if the Democrats really rallied around him and gave him a chance, I'm sorry, I think that this would be a real battle between Donald Trump and RFK Jr. Not that, you know, Harris isn't increasing in the polls. She is, but the voter polls, the general election polls, that's just going off of, you know, the majority vote. Majority vote doesn't win the election. The Electoral College wins the election. And right now, Donald Trump is winning in all the battleground states. He's still projected to win because it's not about the majority vote. But let's just get into everything that the Democrats did to screw over RFK Jr.'s campaign. It's insane. There's two options that we're looking at. And one is staying in, forming that new party, but we run the risk of a Kamala Harris and Tim Walz presidency because we draw votes from Trump, Shanahan told Impact Theory Tom Ballou. The other option is to chuck it in and join the former president. We walk away right now and join forces with Donald Trump, and we explain to our base why we're making this decision, she said, admitting that it's not an easy decision. As to the differences between the two frontrunners, Kamala Harris and Trump, Shanahan said, if we are splitting hairs, I would say that I trust the future of this country more under the leadership of Trump and the Peter Thiels and the J.D. Vances than I do right now under the Harris and the Reid Hoffmans. During the interview, Shanahan revealed the dark shenanigans the Democrats have engaged in to try to sabotage the RFK Jr.'s campaign. She said that she did not invest tens of millions of dollars to be a spoiler candidate, but to win, to fix this country, to do the right thing. And let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, that right there is exactly why they lost the Democrat primary. It's exactly why they got kicked out of the Democrat election. The Democrats don't want a candidate that's going to do the right thing, that's going to actually fix the country. I mean, for heaven's sakes, Kamala Harris is suggesting price controls. We know from history what happens when a country implements price controls. The country falls apart. The economy falls apart. People are laid off by the tens of thousands. Famines, shortages, all of these things. We see that from history. Okay? Don't get mad at me for pointing that out. Go blame history. Go take it up with history. I'm just pointing at that. So no, we shouldn't do that. But let's be honest. They didn't want a candidate that was going to do the right thing. Let's continue. And she slammed the DNC-aligned Clear Choice PAC for funneling money to disrupt and harm the campaign, not on merit, but in duplicitous ways. She said it was specifically created to take us out and spent millions of dollars to take us out. It was due to the efforts of Clear Choice, she said, that the campaign was turned into a spoiler. We don't want to be a spoiler, she said. We wanted to win. We wanted a fair shot. The DNC made that impossible for us. They have banned us, shadow banned us, kept us off stages, manipulated polls, used lawfare against us. Oh boy, that sounds a lot like Trump. sued us in every possible state. They've planted insiders into our campaign to disrupt it and to create actual legal issues for us. I mean, the extent by which the sabotage they've unleashed upon us, it's mind-blowing. We're still learning new ways that they have sabotaged us. The Harris campaign has no kind words for Shanahan's ticket either. When approached, the campaign reportedly refused an opportunity to talk to Kennedy, saying no one has any intention of negotiating with a MAGA-funded fringe candidate who was sought out a job with Donald Trump in exchange for an endorsement. Look, guys. Look. Here's the reality. If RFK Jr. endorses Donald Trump, I think this is a big deal. I think it's a big deal. I really do. RFK Jr. is not someone that I agree with when it comes to policies. However, do I think he actually cares about this country? Yeah, I think he does. I truly do. He's not an establishment candidate. He's not someone that has been pushing fringe ideas, pushing these far left, idiocracy type stuff. Maybe in some situations, but specifically something that I do agree with RFK Jr. on is the environmental toxins. Okay, the poison that's being put into our food, into our water, into our environment as a whole. We have stuff in. I mean, why do you have aluminum in your deodorant? You know what I mean? Like why do we have phthalates in our perfumes and in our colognes and our scents that are causing fertility issues? You know, why does the majority of our foods have so many ingredients in it that have a history and are tied to studies where they've proven these ingredients cause cancer? Why? We have all of these issues, and he's also very against big pharma, wants to bring the price of drugs down, the price of care down. These are things that I heavily agree with RFK Jr. on, and I think that if he were to get a cabinet position with Donald Trump and he were to be in charge specifically of those things, then I think it would be very successful. I believe we would get some very good policies that would fix a lot of those issues, or at least there's a chance. But let's be honest, with Kamala Harris, that's not going to happen. Kamala Harris isn't going to put out any policies that are going to fix any of those things. Here's the reality. If this happens. Now, there was a report from InfoWars. Yes, Alex Jones's outlet that he has, his own company. There was a report from him that this is already in the works. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and say that because I don't know. I mean, he might have some sources. That's fine. I'm not gonna sit here and say that until we see it. Okay, until this has happened. I'm not going to sit here and say for sure, oh, yeah, this is for sure happening. It's already in the works. I'm not going to say that because that would be disingenuous and it could possibly be a lie. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and say that. But I'll say this. If RFK Jr. drops out and endorses Trump, RFK Jr.'s base, the people that had planned to vote for RFK Jr., if he drops out and endorses Trump and explains to his base why they are doing it, that the Democrats have sabotaged them, that they have destroyed any chance that RFK Jr.'s campaign had of getting a fair shake, they have used every tactic to destroy them. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has actually been very receptive to RFK Jr.'s policies, to his opinions, that is automatically going to push the massive group of voters that had planned to vote for RFK Jr. over to Donald Trump. Now, do I think it will get every single voter that planned to vote for RFK Jr.? No. A lot of them probably just won't vote at all because they don't like Trump, and Kamala Harris and the Democrats sabotage RFK Jr., so they probably just won't vote for anybody. But I think a majority of voters who had planned to vote for RFK Jr. will switch over to Donald Trump. And they'll say, okay, if RFK Jr. can get behind this guy, I guess so can I. If the Democrats want to sabotage us and want to try to destroy us, fine, we'll go vote for the other guy. I don't know, man. Let's take a look at the polls. Let's take a look at the polls. Like I said earlier, guys, the majority vote, these general election polls, I'm not going to sit here and say that they don't matter. They do, because these general election polls, they help people to form their own opinions. Oh, goodness. What happened here? Okay, there we go. They help people to form their own opinions. Okay? And they help people to figure out, like, okay, who's the popular candidates? Who should I vote for? And then they go and look, you know what I mean? So the popular vote polls, they do help to form popular sentiment in the country, okay? I do agree on that. But winning the popular vote is not how you win the presidency, okay? We've had many candidates that have won the popular vote but did not win the presidency because we are a republic. We're not a pure democracy, guys, okay? We are a republic. And the way that you tell the difference is a pure democracy is simply just majority rules. That's all that is. It's just majority rules. And if our system was set up in that way, was set up as majority rules, well, California, New York, and Texas would control all of the votes. You think New Jersey or Rhode Island or Maine or any of these like microscopic size states with lower population, you think that though, maybe not New Jersey. I think New Jersey actually has a pretty sizable population, but states like Rhode Island, states like North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Idaho, you think that these states would ever have a say in who the president would be if our system was based on majority rule? It would never have a say. It would be completely controlled by a couple of states and several large cities. That's what it would be. It would be controlled basically by LA, San Francisco, New York City, and Chicago. That's basically who would decide every single presidency. If we were set up in a if we were set up in a pure democratic system where everything was based off of majority vote. Okay? So now we have to realize we are off of an electoral college. What this does is it evens everything out and gives all the states a fair shake. Okay? All the states get to decide using electoral votes on who's going to win the presidency. Now, not everybody gets the same amount of electoral votes. It's based off of population still, but it's a more fair system than, majority rule, basically. But, so this is the system that we have. Let's take a look at these polls. Oh goodness, what happened here? From Real Clear Polling, top battlegrounds, you have Arizona, Trump up 0.2. Nevada, Trump up 1.3. Wisconsin is up. Harris is up in Wisconsin by 1. Michigan is up. Harris is up in Michigan by 2. Trump is up in Pennsylvania by 0.2. Trump was up in North Carolina by 1.2. And Trump is up in Georgia by 1.0. Okay, so I want to go over to... Excuse me, guys. I just really want to do this. 270 to win. Let's see. Presidential election map. Okay, so this is where we're at right now, guys. I want to compare these polls and see what we could end up with if these polls shake out. Okay, so polls had him winning Arizona, Nevada, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. Okay, so Nevada goes red, Arizona goes red, Georgia goes red, and Pennsylvania goes red. There you go. You got 287. Now, let's have Pennsylvania go blue. So, Pennsylvania goes blue. Democrats win Michigan. Democrats win Wisconsin. Democrats win by 2 electoral votes. So, as of right now, with what the polls are showing, if Democrats are able to switch Pennsylvania, then Democrats have a chance to win, and Kamala Harris has a chance. There is not a single map out there that has Kamala Harris losing Pennsylvania and still winning the election. This is why people were very confused when it came to her VP choice, because doesn't she need to win Pennsylvania? Like, shouldn't she have chosen Josh Shapiro because he's the governor of Pennsylvania right now? Like, don't you need to win that state? I'll say this. In my experience from looking at polling, you look at the history of polls, you go back to 2016, I don't know why this website is acting up like this, guys. I apologize. I'm just going to switch over here. You look at the history of polls. You look back to 2016. You look back to 2020. I apologize. These polls heavily overfavored Democrats. Even in 2020, when Joe Biden won, they were saying that, I believe in Wisconsin, they were saying he was going to win Wisconsin by like 8 points. It was either Wisconsin or Michigan, one of those. But they were saying he was going to win Wisconsin or Michigan by like 8 points. He only won by 4 points. Okay. Let's just go look at that poll then. Let's just go look at that poll. If I can get this website to. So they have Trump up in Michigan and in Wisconsin. In Michigan by 2 points and in Wisconsin by 1 point. Okay. If we go back and we look at the history, they had Joe Biden up 8 points in either Wisconsin or Michigan. They had him up 8 points in the polls. They said he was going to win by 8 points. He only won by 4. That is a 4-point difference. That's a major difference in the polls. And if we take that 4-point difference and we compare it to these polls right here, we see Donald Trump is actually winning those states. Donald Trump is actually up by 2 points in Michigan or 3 points in Wisconsin. Guys, these polls have heavily favored Democrats, oftentimes too much. Okay? Now, what should that tell us? What should that tell us? It should tell us nothing more than get off your butt and go do the work that you need to win. Guys, this is too important. This election, in my opinion, is far too important. You don't get to sit back and say, oh, well, okay, well, the guy on YouTube told me that the polls are all fake and that Trump's actually going to win, which I didn't actually say the polls were fake. I said that we should respect them and we should, we should take them very seriously. My point here being is, don't get complacent. Don't just think that because Trump is winning barely in the battleground states that he's automatically going to win. We know what happened in Pennsylvania, guys. We know. Time Magazine did a whole article about it called The Shadow Campaign to Save the 2020 Election, where they outright talked about how in states like Pennsylvania, they illegally changed their laws. They illegally allowed mail-in voting even though it went against their own state constitution. That's illegal. You cannot do that, but they did it anyways. And of course, the Supreme Court refused to answer that question. So we know there's going to be shenanigans. We know that they're more than likely going to do something insane like, I don't know, more mail-in voting, once again going against their own state election, whatever. We know that there's likely going to be shenanigans, okay? So Pennsylvania could flip, could very easily go to Democrats. And that gives them a chance to win. I'm not saying they will win if they win Pennsylvania, but that's the only chance they have. And if they get Pennsylvania, this is a fight. I mean, this is a dog fight, man. You have got to do the work. Register your friends and your family to vote. And when it comes to early voting or election day, I don't care. Just get out and vote, man. Please get out and vote. And when you vote, vote down ballot Republican. You got to vote down ballot Republican. Oh, but there's some senators I don't care. I don't care. Because here's the thing. If Donald Trump wins the presidency, but the Democrats keep control of the Senate and take back the House, they're just going to impeach him before he ever even sees the Oval Office. They're going to impeach him and remove him from office before he ever even sees the Oval Office. This is what's going to happen. Okay? Democrats do not care. They'll do the same thing to J.D. Vance. They will do the same thing to J.D. Vance. They will impeach him and remove him from office for anything and everything. And then the Speaker of the House will become the president because they are third in line. Now, I'd have to do a little bit of research and make sure that that's actually how that works. I believe the Speaker of the House would become, who would be a Democrat in this hypothetical situation. I believe the Speaker of the House would become the president at that point. Not entirely sure. I would have to do a little bit of research on that. Maybe somebody can tell me down in the comments. But guys, this is extremely important, man. This is extremely important. You have to get out and vote. Stop caring about what the polls say. You just have to make the conscious decision right now, no matter what the polls say, no matter what my friends say, no matter what the news says, no matter what anybody says. I am going to register as many people to vote as I can. And when it comes to election day, I am going to go vote. That's it. That's the decision that has to be made right now. I don't know where we go from here, man. I don't know what's going to happen. I hope we get a Donald Trump presidency. I hope he wins Pennsylvania. I hope we take back our country. But I don't know, man. It's really up to us, isn't it? It's up to the voter. Go take your country back, man. I don't know. I'm going to leave it there. I'll have another video coming for you guys likely on Friday. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to support this channel, you like what you hear, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Helps this channel to grow. Make sure you follow me on all the socials down in the description and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we put out new videos. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.